What is up, guys? Welcome back. I am back today as well with another guide video. This is going to be the next in my sort of quasi-series I'm doing here on coming back to Shadowlands as a returning player and kind of what to expect in preparation for Dragonflight. So, starting off today, we're going to talk about leveling, and that's kind of going to evolve into talking about unlocking flying as well. I would say more or less this is going to be kind of a brief overview on how to fly in base Shadowlands zones, but also going to touch on a lot of the leveling concepts right now. So up until, I believe it is, let's check the calendar here. Next Tuesday is the 2nd, and I believe that is when the Season 4 of Shadowlands is going live. So up until August 2nd, 2022, you're going to have, not just a few more days, you're going to have the ability to level with the Winds of Wisdom buff, which is 50% bonus experience gain. That's huge. Massive for leveling alts. So if there's just one alt you want to level, or maybe you want to spam a couple of alts over the next few days, I highly encourage you to get it in while you can. If you haven't been doing that already, take advantage of the last few days of that experience buff, really grind out some characters. But prior to doing any of that, one of the things you might want to do is what you can see here. You might want to unlock flying in the base zones, because this unlocks on all of your alts when you unlock it on your main character. If you have a main character at 60, if you played any of this expansion, then it's pretty fucking easy to unlock, all right? So all you need to do, I'm going to go through the steps pretty quick to unlock it, but I'll give you a brief little rundown here. You need to get your renown to level 44, okay? On a main character, that's really easy to do. You can get it from doing dungeons, you get it from a lot of main campaign quests, even from some of the leveling quests. If you're like leveling an alt and your alt is more progressed on your renown than maybe your main character, your first character you leveled in Shadowlands was. So you want to get renown to 44 no matter how you do it. I found that a good way to do it, though, is through Zereth Mortis and following the Zereth Mortis quests. You can do all of the side quests, all of the main campaign quests for Zereth Mortis, and they usually all reward about 1 renown apiece. And that allows you to level up your renown pretty quickly. I think I reached renown 80 on my Demon Hunter, who was my first 60, to... I mean, it was really relatively quick. It was within like a day or two. It was just, all it took was completing the quest line. So in doing that, keep in mind, all you have to get to is 44. If you're trying to min-max your time as much as possible while leveling, then the best way to do it right now is going to be get that flying unlocked, and then go ahead and go through with Winds of Wisdom. Now, there's an alternative to that, which I'll discuss in a little bit, which is dungeons and just dungeon hopping. But like I said, we'll get to that in a minute. So the other requirement after you get Renown 44 is completing your entire campaign for your Covenant. This takes a little bit longer, but truthfully, those quests aren't too bad. I didn't find them to take too terribly long on my Demon Hunter. I thought they were really relatively simple to complete. A lot of them were just big AoE grind quests, not too bad. This was for the Kyrian Covenant. I'm sure it's the same for all Covenants. So you want to complete your Covenant campaign, okay? And then once you do that, the only requirement you'll have left is to complete 4 chapters of the Korthia campaign. And the reason I put such an emphasis on mentioning 4 chapters is because of this little issue right here. Many of you will just Google how to unlock flying in Shadowlands, and the first thing that comes up is an official post from World of Warcraft, updated 2 months ago, or rather, it's on the Blizzard support website. I shouldn't say it's from World of Warcraft. That tells you need to complete up through the 3rd chapter of the 9.1 Chains of Domination campaign. That is incorrect. You have to complete 4 chapters, okay? The quest you are looking to complete is going to be called The Last Sigil, and that is the capstone for the 4th chapter of the Korthia campaign, not the 3rd chapter, like the Blizzard support article says. So if you're getting to chapter 3, you have 44 renown, and you've completed your Covenant campaign, and you're wondering, like me, why you don't have flying unlocked, it's because Blizzard was wrong about their own game. So, don't make the mistake I did. Go ahead and complete 4 chapters, and once you complete that 4th chapter, the quest will reward you with a book that will allow you, all you have to do is right-click it, and you'll unlock account-wide flying for your main and all of your alts in base Shadowlands zones, which are going to be Maldraxxus, Bastion, Ardenweald, Rivendreth, and that's it. And then, once you have flying unlocked, you can hop into actually starting to level. Now, Before I get into the leveling process and how you want to level in Shadowlands, I do want to touch on what I was just talking about, which is going to be dungeons. As you can see, dungeons reward, this is bugged, dungeons reward about 50,000 XP per dungeon completion. I think it's about 51, 52. It varies obviously per level, but you're getting roughly 50,000 XP. That's about a quarter of a level at level 50. Very quick. If you add the experience gains increased onto that through killing things in the dungeon and doing quests that you might get while you're just passively leveling, such as this, which give almost not 10% per level, you're going to level pretty quick. You can just dungeon spam. However, what I would recommend, because likely when you get to 50, or if you're boosting a character, you're going to have gear that is, 68, 60 eye level, and you're not really going to have great gear for hopping into some of the Shadowlands content. You're going to feel a little squishy. So what you can do is just do some world quests, do some bonus objectives, and then in between those, hop into DPS queues for dungeons and do some dungeons. And that's pretty much going to be the fastest way to level. Now, if you haven't leveled an alt in Shadowlands before and you're not familiar with how the catch-up mechanic for leveling alts works in this expansion, what it is, it's called the Threads of Fate. So if you've leveled a character to 60 through completing the main story campaign, which, if I remember correctly, requires you to complete all of the quests in each zone, all of the main quests, so it's rather annoying, the Threads of Fate becomes available. All you have to do is select it once you get to Oribos on an alt, and you can just type in Fate, and it'll allow you to do world quests and bonus objectives instead of those campaign quests to level your character. It is much faster. It may not seem like it if it's your first time going through it. It felt a little slower at first to me because I wasn't used to it, but you also get these quests here. This one, for example, is for Maldraxxus, but there's one for every zone: Maldraxxus, Bastion, Ardenweald, and Rivendreth. And these effectively replace those campaign quests you had to do. You technically don't have to complete these, but I would highly recommend that you do, because you can see here, I get almost 50% of a level at level 50 for completing this. And what this is, basically, if you do any other quests in the zone, world quests, bonus objectives, finding treasures, killing rares, all that usual stuff, even doing normal side quests, you get some percentage completion towards these meta quests for each zone that unlock a pretty strong reward for you, some, good gear, but again, a huge chunk of experience and some anima. So that's why I recommend a combination of questing and doing the dungeons to level. You're actually getting a pretty big chunk of experience from the campaign quests, and then a pretty large chunk from the dungeons as well. So in doing that, you're going to maximize your time. I found that the quickest I've been able to do it so far has been on average about 30 minutes per level. So, you're looking at, what is that? 300 minutes, 6 hours? 5 hours. Math. 5 hours to level from 50 to 60, which is really fucking fast. Not bad at all. That's super quick, and that was with the Winds of Wisdom buff, I will say. That's been my fastest so far. I believe I did that on my Warrior. So, not a speedy leveling class by, all things considered, and it was still really quick. So, that being said, that's the dungeon experience, kind of, if you want to weave dungeons in. If you don't want to weave dungeons in, you can purely focus on doing these world quests and these bonus objectives. What I like to do is I'll fly around and complete all of the world quests first, and the bonus objectives. So I would hop up here, 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 and then just kind of work my way through all of these objectives here, and then go around and complete side quests and queue for dungeons until I finish up the main campaign quest for the region. And then once I finish that up, I'll hop to a new region and repeat the process. Basically, I clear out a zone of bonus objectives and world quests, queue for dungeons while I'm doing side quests until the campaign quest is complete, and then move to a different zone. That has worked best for me, and I found that that's been, like I said, about 30 minutes per level on my characters that I'm actually leveling quickly on. And it's great to take advantage of that Winds of Wisdom buff while you're doing this. So that's really about it for today, guys. I didn't have a ton to talk about. It was just kind of that. I wanted to put it into a video. This has been something I'm working on. I'm leveling. You can see here on my spreadsheet, these are the characters I've leveled so far. I have a few more to go. I'm probably going to try and squeeze those in before Winds of Wisdom expires. That's just part of my prep. I'd like to have 1060s prior to going into Dragonflight, just so that I can gather up a bunch of different professions, a bunch of different variants of the profession, so duplicates, for ones that may be exceptionally useful in Dragonflight, and then that'll allow me to kind of experiment with those when the game comes out. That being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the guide, and I will catch you all later. If you want to catch me streaming on Twitch, you can find me at twitch.tv/Ayrik. It's 4 E's, A-Y, 4 E's, R-I-K. And so same as it is here. And I stream usually every Tuesday, every Thursday, occasionally on Saturdays, and sometimes throughout the week on Wednesdays as well. If you want to keep up with when my stream goes live or when I post new content on YouTube, you can follow me on Twitter. Again, that's at Ayrik. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Take it easy. Happy leveling. And look forward to some new guides soon.